All right, fans, the third and final hour of RWL Global War from the nation's capital. Don Hickson and the rest of the RWL crew here for hour 3, and if you figured we'd run out of championship matches, you would be sorely mistaken.
Couple of quick notes here. Hurt Grove sends his apologies to everyone, but he's very busy behind the scenes coordinating both this and upcoming events, so he wasn't able to make it tonight. Also of interest, there's no sign of the Sectarians, who seem to have gone radio silent. None of them here tonight. Lucky us.
Reasons to be cheerful, for sure. We still have several more very important matches leading up to the main event tonight for the World Heavyweight title. We've got pre-recorded comments from both opponents in the third hour opener. Let's hear from Georgia Washington and Snarl Women's Champion, Liberty Bell Danielle.
You know, I see all the vile crap you say about me online, but ain't it funny how when I was 2 feet away from you, I didn't hear you saying anything. All I got from you is attitude. That's all you are, Heathcote. Attitude and ego with a side order of talent. But here you are, with Danielle Heathcote is this, that, and a third, and everyone else is no good for whatever stupid reason you dream up for yourself. The Snarl Women's Champion probably shouldn't have a main character complex. I bet the month away's been a breath of fresh air for some fans. You're here, what, a couple of years now, and expect to be treated like some 10-year megastar. No, really. Who the hell do you think you are? Look at it this way. It's still going to be the same Snarl Women's Champion, with an American woman wearing it, and we're just replacing the Liberty Bell for the Yankee Rose. I want to start by congratulating Patty on her win tonight over Brenda Blair. Next, I want to thank everyone out there, the fans, for all the messages and emails while I was out. It really meant a lot to me. So now I'm back and I've got all these titles I've got to defend, and I don't want to let anyone down. But here's Georgia Washington getting right in my face. The ink isn't even dry on my medical clearance, and you've got me signing for a Snarl Women's title match? Who even does that? Georgia Washington does that. We all know Georgia. She's a false American. She's dishonest, disingenuous, sneaky. And she's the kind of rat that beats on opponents after the match is over. She did it to Pam Parsons, right in front of me, and Brooklyn Von Braun. That's not worthy of being Snarl Women's Champion. Nobody wants you to be Snarl Women's Champion. And I know you're going to go out of your way to hurt me if you can, knowing I'm just coming back after a month on the injured list. That's how you roll, Georgia. You're the Tanya Harding of the women's division. There's like a million other reasons you're not going to be Snarl Women's Champion, and since I don't have time to list them all, let me give you one reason. The best one. It's because that belt is going home with me tonight.
And so it is out of the frying pan into the fire for Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote, back from injury, set to defend the Snarl Women's Championship against the Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington.
The next match, one fall, 20-minute time limit, is for the Snarl Women's Championship.
The Olympic hero Kurt Angle accompanying Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington for this Snarl Women's Championship matchup against Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote. Of course, the big story being Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote's return after a month away on the injured list following her Hell in a Cell match with Jody Vorak in Philadelphia last month.
And Jody is going to be back very soon, is what Ted DiBiase says. But whatever the Memphis Millionaires is up to, it's being done in absolute Soviet-era secrecy. She's a story for another day. The Yankee Rose, like it or not, goes into this match in great shape. That major win over China, and yeah, just pouncing on Danielle for this match immediately. The smack of an opportunist. The Yankee Rose be kinda stanky.
Hey, look at that. Everybody's standing up. You bet they are, Myron. American Powers is back in the building. Powerhouse Patty Powers and the Snarl Women's Champion Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote back after a month away on the injured list. Confined to bed rest for 2 weeks. Finally in the Performance Center in the training facility trying to get it back together in the ring for the last few days. And she is prepped and ready to go for the Snarl Women's title defense against her heated rival, the false American, as she describes her, Georgia Washington, the Yankee Rose.
I've gotten pretty well acquainted with Danielle. I can tell you pretty much Georgia Washington is not going to make it tonight.
The challenger, along with Kurt Angle, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington, and accompanied by Triple Crowner Patty Powers, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and our WL Ladies Triple Crown Champion and the Snarl Women's Champion, All-American Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote.
Well, the way Danielle explained it to me, she's real happy she passed the physical, but she's still a little bit apprehensive. She's still got a bunch of sore spots. And that cell match with Jody Warwick, so she's a little bit nervous about putting that Snarl Women's title on the line against Georgia Washington, against somebody she knows she hates, who hates her back and is going to try to hurt her and everything. So, yeah, you can pretty much figure.
Yeah, it's got to be very, very difficult for Danielle.
Danielle's been real hot since Georgia confronted her in the hallway last week. Well, who could blame her? Like she said, the ink wasn't even dry on the medical clearance yet. That's pretty low. All right, Tom Canamora rings the bell. And here we go, Georgia Washington. Locks it up with Danielle. Winds up the arm. Danielle counters it. Georgia Washington can't seem to break the lock. Danielle's got it cinched in pretty good. Liberty Bell Danielle takes down Georgia Washington with a leg sweep. Kick to the midsection from Georgia. Hard whip to the far corner for Danielle. Rebounds out. Counters with a kick. Georgia Washington. Drop toe hold on Danielle. Danielle counters with a right forearm. They lock it up. They tussle. Georgia shoves her away. Takes down Danielle with an elbow. A kick to the back from Georgia Washington, followed up with a stomp. Georgia Washington getting real aggressive with those red, white, and blue boots. Georgia with another kick to the back. This isn't good. Danielle's taking a whole lot of punishment in that cell match. Every little one has to hurt. Georgia Washington, caught from behind by Liberty Bell. Danielle shoves her face down. Georgia kick to the midsection to Danielle. Clubbing overhand right takes her down to the canvas again. Kurt Angle cheering her on. Elbow from Danielle. Fireman's carry from Georgia. Georgia Washington escorts Danielle to the far corner, head first into the turnbuckle. Multiple turnbuckle smash for Danielle Heathcote. Oh, that is not good. Georgia Washington with a kick to the midsection. And whoa, jumping neckbreaker from the Yankee Rose. Georgia drives a knee into the head of Danielle Heathcote. Georgia takes herself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. High-risk maneuver coming up here. Whoa! Catches knees from Danielle Heathcote. Countering just in time. Danielle with a hard shot to the face. Georgia Washington. Whip to the corner. Rebounds out onto the mat. Liberty Bell. Countered. Hurricane Rana from Georgia Washington. Counter from Danielle. Charging spear from the Liberty Bell. Kick to the back to Georgia Washington. Danielle takes herself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Getting ready to go high risk here. Georgia Washington stands herself up. Here we go. Missile drop kick misses the mark. Georgia Washington covers. One. But just one. Patty Powers, happy to see her American Powers tag team partner back in action here. Liberty Bell counters Georgia with this wheelbarrow DDT. from Liberty Bell. Danielle, he's got, whoa, counter. Georgia Washington quickly back up on her feet here. A leg sweep takes her right back down again. Danielle Heathcote rallying the fans in D.C. with the red, white, and blue action. Georgia hung out to dry on the apron. Counters. Georgia Washington back in the ring now. Danielle whips her to the far corner, misses with the knees. Georgia Washington takes her down with one arm. Oh. Georgia Washington drags her down, goes for another cover one. Oh, well, that one didn't work out. And going to see a lot of near falls here. Snarl Women's Championship on the line. First, Danielle's first defense since coming back. Again, knees to the midsection. Every time she tries that shooting star, Danielle just seems to know it's coming up. She's whipped into the far corner. Georgia Washington catching a boot to the throat from Liberty Bell Danielle. Collapses down into the corner, a kick to the gut. Counters, finds her way out of the corner. Well, here we go. First submission here. Danielle going for the crossface. She's center ring. Georgia Washington with nowhere to go. Going to have to counter and find her way out, and she sure as hell does. Georgia. Counter. Jawjacker from Danielle takes her down. Liberty Bell Danielle stalking Georgia Washington. Georgia quick with the counter here. An arm drag from Danielle Heathcote. Danielle with the nice bridging suplex. Rallying the fans here in D.C. Georgia Washington takes her down with a spear. Wow. Spear versus spear with these red, white, and blue ladies. What a matchup. Liberty Bell Danielle on the receiving end of the business here from the Yankee Rose. Again, another cover. 1, 2. But 2, only a near fall. Georgia Washington desperate to get that pinfall. Danielle counters with a jawjacker. Swings and misses. An elbow takes her down. Liberty Bell counters. Gets back up on her feet quick. Throws it up and stomps to the back. Rounds up Georgia Washington. A hard kick to the midsection. The Yankee Rose taken down into the crossface again. Tom Cannemora asking her what she wants to do. Nowhere to go. She's reaching for the ropes. But it's no good. She is tapping out. Liberty Bell Danielle defends the Snarl Women's Championship and wins it by pinfall. She is back in business, everybody.
Here's the time. 6 minutes and 6 seconds. Your winner, and still Snarl Women's Champion Liberty Bell, Danielle Heathcote.
Well, indeed, if Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote is not at 100%, you wouldn't know it from this evening's performance against Georgia Washington, with Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote looking at least 100% healed, at least to my eyes, and retaining the Snarl Women's Championship. What a performance, and welcome back, Liberty Bell.
Well, she knew Georgia Washington was going to try and hurt us, so the best thing to do was to wrap it up as quick as she possibly could, and damned if she ain't pulled it off, managing to get Georgia Washington to tap out to the crossface. So Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote looking pretty good in her return performance and retaining the Snarl Women's Championship. I think everything's going to be all right. There's still a whole lot of championships to defend at the Ladies Triple Crowner, but I'm sure she's going to do just fine from here on in.
And Danielle really was right in her pre-match comments. Nobody wanted to see the Yankee Rose replacing the Liberty Bell. And luckily, she didn't take too many lumps and did get a quick tap out. And still lots more to come, so please do stay with us. Global War will continue.
Well, last week on Snarl, T-Bar Molesky and the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase clashed and the $1 Million Man prevailed. So both of them are back tonight, and this time the Snarl Television Championship is in the balance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match, one fall with a 20-minute time limit, is for the RWL Snarl Television Championship.
Last time DiBiase and Belescu met at Snarl recently, it didn't end well for the Hungarian Hurricane, with Ted DiBiase winning the match. And not being satisfied with that, the $1 Million Man shoves a $100 bill down Belescu's throat in a stock display of bad sportsmanship. Belescu didn't make a big deal about it. He simply returned to the front office and put in a request to face DiBiase again at this supercard.
And is it ever personal for Tibor Belescu, who's asked his Team Euro partner light heavyweight champion Sir Reggie Smythe to sit this one out, wanting no distractions while he focuses his attention on the $1 Million Man. He's very quiet, hasn't said much of anything, but you can tell, below the surface, he's super pissed.
Okay, someone has to give Ted DiBiase's side of this, so I guess I'll do it. Teddy Boy's going into this one with sad $1 Million Man problems. He couldn't get at Flair for the $1 Million belt tonight, and didn't want a rematch with Belescu, but Tibor wanted it so bad, he waved the Snarl TV title under DiBiase's nose, and presto. I hope Belescu isn't taking too much of a gamble doing it like that.
Belescu to the rescue.
And he's been quietly deflecting all questions about Jody Borik's impending return. He's giving this out of the blue title match all his attention, figuring he just beat Belescu last week. And he'll do it again for the belt this time.
That sure don't look like he's going to do that. Do you see this crowd all behind Tibor Belescu here? The Hungarian Hurricane. Got a little help from his friends, like the Beatles song says, man. The Snarl TV champion, looking seriously confident, got this whole place in the palm of his hand, man. It don't look like it's going to be a good night for the $1 Million Man. He's going to have to cheat. He's going to have to perform some kind of magic miracle.
When you can work up a crowd to that level, you have most definitely arrived, and Tibor Belescu, quiet though he might be, is one powerful Snarl TV champion, extremely popular.
Who's been the most popular Snarl TV champion? That's a tough one to think about because we've had so many in the title's 15-year history. I'd say it was Tony Dangerous. What do you guys think?
I'm partial. I'd say it was Tito Optimacio.
I'd say Gary Galaxy, but we could do this all day.
I think it might have been Scotty Priest, but we have had some really great Snarl TV champions.
The challenger, from Omaha, Nebraska, weighing 256 pounds, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And from Budapest, Hungary, weighing 198 pounds, the Snarl Television champion, the Hungarian Hurricane, Tibor Belescu.
They talk all the time about banning stuff in RWL like the pile driver, or cell matches. Honey, they need to ban making people eat money that's been down your trunks. That's just nasty.
I'll be sure to bring that up at the next match committee meeting, Christy.
Hey, I'll second the vote.
Well, it sure is gratifying to know we're all on the same page here. Oh, man. Well, Snarl TV title on the line here. DiBiase in a mood. Belescu in a bigger mood. Referee Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Belescu charges. Misses with the jumping neckbreaker. Catches a kick to the chest. And a knee to the back from the $1 Million Man. DiBiase catches a knee from Belescu. Belescu has him up. DiBiase counters with a knee to the head. The $1 Million Man swings and misses. Belescu taken off the ropes into a clothesline, followed up with a series of stomps from the $1 Million Man. Belescu laid out. He's in trouble. DiBiase all the way to the top rope and straight down with the elbow drop across the back. Man, Tibor Belescu having his problems here in the early goings. Back up on his feet. Takes another clothesline from the $1 Million Man. Oh, well, DiBiase definitely in a mood. Belescu does get a hold of him. He's got him for a bear hug. He's got to hold him there, though. Ted DiBiase's not going to let that happen, not right away anyhow. Elbows, a double ear clap, and Belescu's hold is separated. Elbow takes him down. The $1 Million Man follows it up with a stomp. Misses with the knee. Belescu finally connects with a clothesline, takes DiBiase down. The Hungarian Hurricane all the way to the top turnbuckle, getting set to go air here on Ted DiBiase. Changes his mind about it. Well, here we go. Well, DiBiase counters. He's got Bolescu gut wrench suplex, followed up with a stomp and another. A $1 Million Man catches a dragon screw from Tibor Bolescu. Knee to the midsection. DiBiase deftly steps out of the way. Headlock punch to Bolescu. Goes behind. A shot to the back. Bolescu to the ropes into a power slam from the $1 Million Man. And the Snarl TV title on the line here. Bolescu defending. Well, here we go. Here's a cover. One. But only one. The $1 Million Man determined to get a hold of any kind of championship he can get his hands on. And that includes the Snarl TV title. Knee to the head of Tibor Bolescu. The $1 Million Man proceeds. Oh, here we go. Counter. The Hungarian Hurricane. Locks him up. Front cradle. Has him up over the shoulder. Hangs him up over the top rope. And down goes the $1 Million Man. Bolescu into the bear hug again. Center ring. No ropes for DiBiase to get to. Walt Rossburn checking things out. But DiBiase, one more time, still a little bit too strong. Powering his way out of that situation. Clothesline takes Bolescu down. Bolescu quickly trying to get back up. DiBiase right there cracks a knee into his head. I think he just busted Bolescu open. Swing and a miss from DiBiase. Bolescu connects with a right, a knee, another right. And look at this. Chicken wing suplex from the Hungarian Hurricane, Tibor Bolescu. DiBiase outside to the floor. Bolescu getting ready to go seriously high risk here. DiBiase up on his feet. Double axe handle. He nailed him. DiBiase catches a jumping neckbreaker from the Hungarian Hurricane. The referee already counting DiBiase with a shot to the midsection. Bolescu counters with a knee. DiBiase locks him up, pitches him towards the ring steps, but doesn't quite make it there. DiBiase back inside the ring. Look at him begging off. As if. The nerve of this guy. Huh. Hell, oh, man. Elbow takes Bolescu down. Another one keeps him down. DiBiase with a hard right, a chop, a second. The $1 Million Man with a spinning neckbreaker. And a stomp to the midsection of the Hungarian Hurricane. Ted DiBiase on a bit of a roll here. Really would love to get his hands on that Snarl TV Championship. Ted DiBiase with a stomp to the back of the head of Tibor Bolescu. There's that falling fist drop. Oh, man. Bolescu gets covered. 1, 2. Bolescu is battered, worn out. He is in bad shape. And the title's on the line here too. Might have been a big gamble just to get his hands on DiBiase. Here we go. Whoa, did you see that? Tibor Bolescu catching him midair like he was a baseball in left field. Whoa. And then slams him down to the floor. Unbelievable power from the Hungarian Hurricane. DiBiase rolled back inside the ring. Bolescu goes all the way topside. Elbow drop across the back of the $1 Million Man. Tibor Bolescu has him up with a powerhouse. 198 pounds of straight muscle. You know that one gorilla versus 100-man challenge? Try that with Bolescu. Cover. 1, 2. DiBiase gets the right shoulder up. A stomp to the back from Bolescu. A rebound off the ropes. Misses with the splash. DiBiase rolling out of the way just in time. DiBiase locks him up, catches a knee. Bolescu still in there punching though. Has DiBiase up, but DiBiase counters with a knee to the head. Charges clothesline, takes down Bolescu. Tibor Bolescu in jeopardy here. The $1 Million Man stalking the Hungarian Hurricane. And there's the $1 Million Dream. This could be catastrophic right here. He's got it locked in. Tibor Boleski, the blood flowing down his face. And he is fading fast. Whoa! Manages to just about counter his way out of it. Locks up the $1 Million Man. Whoa, clubbing shot to the back of the head. Out to the floor goes Ted DiBiase. Boleski on the top. Whoa, missile shoulder. And he nailed it perfectly. The Hungarian Hurricane rounds up DiBiase. Look at this. Wheelbarrow face buster. Out there on the floor, too. He's going to do it and get the... Whoa. Man. Ted DiBiase feeling a bit sore in the face after that. Not once, but twice. Face planted by the Hungarian Hurricane. Boleski has DiBiase up, couple of rib breakers, and then tossed off to the side. The Hungarian Hurricane rounds him up. Discus punch takes him right back down again. Oh man, just hauled across by his ankle. Boleski is ragged on the $1 Million Man at this point. Tibor Boleski up on the middle rope, waiting for DiBiase to stand himself on up, and here we go. Another missile shoulder takes him down again. Ted DiBiase. Now he's on the receiving end. Here we go. Splash. Look at this. Lovely pin right there. 1, 2, but only a 2. Oh, it would have been cool though. DiBiase with a right. Kick to the midsection and a DDT for Tibor Boleski. A running kick takes Boleski back down again. Boleski trying to get back up to his feet. DiBiase right there stalking him. Headlock punch. Boleski out of the corner and taken down by the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase figuring out where he's going to go next. Rounds up Boleski, locks him up. Boleski counters with elbows to the midsection. A hard right stuns DiBiase. Rebound off the ropes. Whoa, by the throat. All the way up the military press. The Hungarian Hurricane slams him down with authority. Boleski gathers him up again. Another discus punch just to make sure he's properly stunned. Ted DiBiase makes his way out to the apron. Boleski charges shoulder, takes him down to the floor. Here comes Tibor Boleski in hot pursuit. Boleski rounds up the $1 Million Man, rolls him back inside the ring. He made Tibor Boleski mad at some point. Boleski taken down with an elbow by Ted DiBiase. An elbow across the chest from the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase locks up, catches the knee from Boleski, locks him up again. Spinning neckbreaker from DiBiase. A knee to the head for Tibor Boleski, followed up with a stomp to the leg. Ted DiBiase trying to regain control of things here. Stomp to the lower abdomen. Now the $1 Million Man taking himself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Here we go, cross-body splash. That could be it right there. Wait a minute. Boleski back up on his feet all of a sudden here. He's got him. Boom! What a one-arm slam. Rolls it over for the cover. 1, 2, 3, and that is it. Tibor Boleski retaining the Snarl TV Championship over the $1 Million Man. Wow.
The time, 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Your winner and still Snarl Television Champion, Tibor Boleski.
This is why he wanted to do it so damn bad. He's gonna pay DiBiase back with the same dollar. I'm a taste tiger. You go, Tibor Boleski.
I think I just found my feel-good match of the night. That was so satisfying. Maybe it'll teach Teddy Boy to keep his cash in his wallet from now on. Geez, imagine the bacteria doing a conga line all over that $100. Disgusting.
Bacteria doing a conga line. Oh, Miss Ogilvy, I must confess that was really good. Alright, the Hungarian Hurricane Tibor Bileski retains the Snarl TV title. When we return, Bret the Hitman Hart and the Sultan of Sexy, Rob Torres, right after the break. Well, it's a lot like mixing bleach and ammonia. Anytime you put them together, you get a toxic result. That's the Bret the Hitman Hart versus Rob Torres situation. Only this time, this match is happening at the insistence of Bret the Hitman Hart.
This next match, one fall, with a 15-minute time limit. Approaching the ring from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Weighing to 130 for pounds. He's the excellence of execution. Bret, the Hitman Hart.
The Hitman is done trying to figure out what Rob Torres' problem towards him is. He has called him out, and tonight it is going to be one-on-one on Bret the Hitman Hart's terms, I suppose.
From the Sultan of Sexy's first appearance in RWL, he's had it in for Bret and the rest of the Hart Foundation, to say nothing of epic feuds with Yosef von Schmidt and, of course, American Supreme, who put Torres out for 3 months for disrespecting Crystal Gabor. Yes, sir, Rob's always been a troublemaker, but he's really got this thing about the Hitman. It's borderline psychotic.
You know, you go away for a year, you come back. You figure you might find somebody new to pick on. No, he goes right back to Bret the Hitman Hart. And man, did Rob Torres ever leave everybody slack-jawed when he showed up out of nowhere to attack Bret the Hitman Hart again. It was like business as usual. Well, clock in, dang, time to go beat up Bret the Hitman Hart again. Wow.
And his opponent from Nashville, Tennessee, weighing to 160 pounds, the Sultan of Sexy, Rob Torres.
Well, a couple of quick little details about Rob Torres. He was a former tag team champion with Dr. D. David Schultz and the Tennessee Studs. And he had a brother, Chad Torres, who was here for all of about 30 seconds. We'll probably never see him again, but Rob Torres, he's back. And right back to business as usual, as I said. He just got it in for Bret the Hitman Hart. He's determined to bust him open, make him bleed everything conceivable that he can possibly do to damage Bret Hart. It's just, I don't know, he's nuts.
You know what really sucks about this guy is that he really could be a top star if he wasn't so obsessed with feuding with all his opponents. But some people just can't see past their own hatred, I guess.
And it is going to be a disadvantageous match for the Hitman, who will spend most of it on the defensive, given Rob Torres' attitude.
Staying on the defense is great, but he's going to have to find some time to fight back too, Dandy Don. This is going to be a good one. Well, the Hitman's primed. Obviously, Rob Torres is in his mood. Referee Tom Canamora rings the bell, and off we go. They lock up. Hitman goes behind, rear waist lock. Torres with a snapmare into a rear headlock on the Hitman. Drives a knee into the back of Bret Hart. Swings, misses, locks up. Bret Hart pressed into the corner by the Sultan of Sexy. Referee Tom Canamora going to have to break it up. Let's see if we get a clean break. Well, wonder of wonder, miracle of miracles. Bret the Hitman Hart whips Rob Torres to the ropes, ducks under. They collide with no result. Counter kick from Rob Torres, swings and misses with a clothesline. They lock up, tussle again, down goes the Hitman. Swings and misses, does Rob Torres again. Swings and misses, does the Hitman. Up and over, Bret the Hitman Hart. Quick with the counter here, clothesline. Pass over tea kettle and out onto the floor goes Rob Torres. Bret the Hitman Hart rounds him up. Swings and misses. Gonna be a lot of that going on here. No joy in Mudville tonight. The Hitman makes his way back inside. Rob Torres swings him around. Oh, a gouge of the eyes from the Sultan of Sexy. Did not take him long to start fighting dirty. German release suplex on Bret the Hitman Hart. A clubbing overhand right that doesn't connect. Rob Torres rounds up Bret the Hitman Hart by the hair. The Hitman countering with elbows to the gut. The Hitman countered. Taken down by Rob Torres with one arm. Torres covers one, but just a one. The Hitman still too peppy. Another swing and a miss from Torres. Bret the Hitman Hart. Nice crucifix right there. from the excellence of execution. He's going to have it all over Rob Torres technically. Rob Torres is much more of a brawler. He's got some technical skills, but nowhere near the Hitman. Rob Torres. Shoulder tackled by Bret the Hitman Hart. Out onto the floor goes the Sultan of Sexy. The Hitman goes out to join him. Rob Torres countered by Bret Hart. Bret makes his way back inside. Rob Torres hangs him up on the top rope. Makes his way inside. Headbutt. And whoa, just pitches him towards the corner. Rob Torres got a lot of power. See how physically well Rob Torres is built. Oh, turn stomp. Throws Bret's head right into the canvas. Yeah, he's not going to play fair. Oh, man. A back rake. Bret the Hitman Hart counters with a DDT. Quickly going for a cover, but too close to the ropes. Rob Torres finds his way out anyway. Bret the Hitman Hart rallying the crowd in DC for a little bit of support here. The Hitman whips Torres to the corner. He rebounds out. Russian leg sweep from Bret the Hitman Hart. The Hitman delivers a leg snap for Rob Torres. Torres back up on his feet, but the Hitman right there whips him to the ropes. Back body drop for Rob Torres. And now the Hitman going into a submission here. Stretching Rob Torres. Doubt he's going to tap though. Torres counters, gets back up on his feet. A couple of hard shots and a high hip toss from Rob Torres. Bret the Hitman Hart catches one to the midsection. Here's the pump handle. Whoa! There it is. That's the warm-up to the last tango right there. That's that modified Samoan drop from Rob Torres. 1, 2, but only a 2 count. Bret Hart had the wind knocked out of him for sure. The Sultan of Sexy debates his next move. Leg sweep from Bret the Hitman Hart. Torres back up on his feet. Standing dropkick takes the Hitman down again. Bret Hart whipped into the corner. Torres turns him around. Sets him up on the top turnbuckle. Well, here we go. This is going to be bad. Top rope superplex coming up for the Hitman. 10 feet up, 10 feet down. Rob Torres nails him with it. Rob Torres feeling a bit of the impact himself. Torres rounds up the Hitman. Slams his head down to the floor. Tom Canamora counting on both guys. Bret rolled back into the ring by Rob Torres. Torres moves back in. Rolls Bret over. Goes for the cover. This could be it. 1, 2. Nope. Just a 2 count. Bret the Hitman Hart powering it. Oh, Rob Torres trash talking the Hitman here. Bret counters with a kick to the leg. Whips Rob Torres to the far corner. Bret the Hitman Hart with a running bulldog. Face first into the canvas goes Rob Torres. The Hitman up on the middle rope here. Drives an elbow into the head of Rob Torres. Here's a cover. 1, 2, no. Rob Torres powering out of the pin. Bret delivers a kick to the back. The Hitman currently in control of this matchup. And it's gone back and forth quite a bit. Oh, here we go. Bret the Hitman Hart warming it up. There's the sharpshooter centering. Rob Torres with nowhere to go. To the wrist, Torres counters, finds his way out of the sharpshooter. Got to be impressed with that in spite of yourself. The Hitman takes him down with an inverted atomic drop, follows it up with a stomp to the back. And Rob Torres on the canvas again, gets himself back up. Bret the Hitman Hart quickly countered by Rob Torres. The Hitman counters, delivers a series of kicks to the leg and a clothesline. Takes down Rob Torres. Again, Bret the Hitman Hart stretching him. Another possible submission being worked here as Bret the Hitman Hart continues to wear down the Sultan of Sexy. Rob Torres unable to find his way out apparently. Bret the Hitman Hart releasing the hold. And Rob Torres has been stretched well. Leg sweep counter Rob Torres indicating to the fans that he's got it upstairs. Yes, he did. A kick to the head. And another clothesline that takes him down out onto the floor. Oh, this one's been a ride, you guys. The Hitman countered. Rob Torres misses with the clothesline. Bret the Hitman Hart right there to round him up. Fireman's carry from Rob Torres as they battle near the Spanish announce table. Off into the table goes Rob Torres. Torres counters with a right. Torres makes his way back to the ring. So does Bret the Hitman Hart. He makes it in first. The Hitman with the Dragon Sleeper on Rob Torres. Torres whip to the rope. Ooh, man. And a drop kick. Torres quickly up out of the corner. There it is, the last tango. That could be the end right there. Bret the Hitman Hart on Dream Street after the last tango from Rob Torres. Torres covers. 1, 2. Shit. Oh, man. Torres talking about Tom Canamora. Hurry up with that count. But Bret the Hitman Hart powering out of the last tango. That is pretty impressive. Up and over, out onto the floor goes Bret the Hitman Hart. Rob Torres goes outside to round him up. The Hitman counters. Rob Torres with a clothesline takes him down to the floor. The Sultan of Sexy rounds up the Hitman. The Hitman counters with another kick. Swings and misses. Torres makes his way back inside. So does the Hitman. Bret the Hitman Hart whips him into the far corner. Turns Rob Torres around. He's calling for it again. The running bulldog out of the corner. Down goes Rob Torres. Bret the Hitman Hart up on the middle rope. There's the knee into the head of Rob Torres, and I think he might be about done. Bret the Hitman Hart needs to wrap this thing up. I think he realizes it too. Stalking Rob Torres, takes him down center ring, setting it up. Here's the sharpshooter again. Rob Torres again with nowhere to go. This is definitely got to be, no. Oh, shut up. Rob Torres says, nope, not done yet. Huh. Hard shot to the midsection from Rob Torres, followed up with a kick. Oh, man, what a shoulder breaker from the Sultan of Sexy. Goes for the cover, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Oh, wow. Neither one of these guys giving up easy, that's for damn sure. Rob Torres rounds him up. Arm drag from Bret the Hitman Hart. Torres counters with the right. Clothesline takes the Hitman down hard. Torres rounds him up again. Bret the Hitman Hart counters again. Another beautiful bulldog from the excellence of execution. Torres counters with a knee. Neither one of these, I mean, they hit each other with everything with the damn kitchen sink, and neither one's giving up on nothing. Just unbelievable. Torres, there it is, that beautiful spinning Samoan drop cover. 1, 2, and again, Bret the Hitman Hart somehow, some way finding his way out of danger. The Hitman rounded up to his feet by Rob Torres. Whipped to the corner. Bret counters. Torres countered again. The Hitman has him up. Oh, there's a pile driver. Rob Torres may be going night-night right here. Bret the Hitman Hart rounds him up. Up over the shoulders. Torres counters the inverted DDT. Man, unbelievable, these two. Every time they get together, it's always sparks flying. Torres up on the top turnbuckle. Bret's laid out. Oh, misses with the leg drop. Bret right there to pick up the pieces. Countered with the neck breaker. Torres tries for something, but no good. Bret the Hitman Hart tags him with a series of rights. Down he goes again. And here we go one more time. Bret the Hitman Hart setting up the sharpshooter. Rob Torres in big time trouble here. And that's it. He is tapping out. Bret the Hitman Hart defeats Rob Torres by pinfall. How about this right here?
The time was 6 minutes and 53 seconds. Your winner via submission, Bret Hitman Hart.
The Hitman overcoming what seemed like insurmountable odds against the Sultan of Sexy, Rob Torres determined to do some sort of damage to Bret the Hitman Hart, but he gets a submission win and not a scratch on the man. Bret the Hitman Hart surviving an ordeal against the Sultan of Sexy, and who can say when he's going to be back or who he'll be targeting next?
I wouldn't worry none too much about that. A fellow like Rob Torres always seems to find himself something to do. Well, not tonight he don't. Bret the Hitman Hart picking up the tap-out win over the Sultan of Sexy. When we come back, it's our main event, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. American Supreme Matt Clark defends the title from the Mexican monolith Warlord Santos when we return.
And in this evening's Global War main event, the RWL World Heavyweight Championship on the line, American Supreme Matt Clark defending the title against the Mexican monolith Warlord Santos.
This evening's main event, 1-5, with a 15-minute time limit, is for the RWL World Heavyweight Championship.
This is about as rare as drawing 4 aces in poker. 2 dual champions going at it in the main event.
You know, this is Sylvia Strong's 4th time out here. How is she still standing?
It's a good thing that Santos and Clark are on good terms, with mutual respect and admiration for each other. Santos was the last man to beat him before he went into semi-retirement. And Clark's one of the few to beat Santos clean and fair. They hated each other once, but there's truce between them, with only mild tensions.
Clark's rivalry with Santos isn't bitter or based on brutality. It's a sportsman's thing between these two athletes, and that's something we don't get hardly enough of in pro wrestling. But it's nice to know some people are keeping it alive.
And they got such long track records, both individually and against each other. Well, yeah, it's like King Kong versus Godzilla when these two get to town.
This match is based on Matt Clark keeping a promise to Santos that he'd give him a rematch for the World Heavyweight title if the Still had it. That was 3 months ago, and Supremo is a man of his word. Hard to choose who to root for when they're both just so badass.
And it is certainly rare to have 2 dual champions competing in a main event during a supercard. The planets must all be aligned in some way.
Remember the fresh-faced young man Matt Clark was way back in 2013, winning the United States title in his first tournament. And how he set the tone for his presence in RWL by smashing Scott Bell's skull with that same United States belt. From that moment on till today, he's always been this guy. American Supreme Matt Clark has never needed to reinvent himself or make any drastic changes. It's just who he is, and like Mr. Hercules before him, Clark's always gonna be a part of RWL.
Former multi-time World Heavyweight Champion, United States Champion, for-time Tag Team Champion, and proud participant in some of the greatest matches in RWL history. Like the passing of the torch in Tulsa, when Clark lost to Chief Sam White Moon in his retirement match. That's one people still talk about.
Yeah, that's true. Sam White Moon himself says Matt Clark gave him one of the toughest matches he ever had.
Challenger along with Sylvia Strong from Hidalgo, Mexico, weighing 496 pounds, and our WL double champion, the Mexican monolith, Warlord Santos. And, along with Crystal Gabor from Smithfield, North Carolina, weighing 165 pounds, and our WL double champion, and the RWL World Heavyweight Champion, American Supreme, Matt Clark.
It is certainly an epic contest. The icing on the cake to a very, very exciting supercard.
Plus, every time these two go at it, it's always exciting.
Well, these two frenemies are a little bit more about sportsmanship than they are about violence when it comes to each other. Well, let's see if we get a clean match. The bell rings. Santos charges clothesline, takes down American Supreme into the corner, follows it up with a stomp. The Mexican Monolith, stopped cold by American Supreme, makes his way back up to his feet out of the corner, charges, collides with Santos. Santos has him all the way up. The Mexican Monolith displaying the power early, military press drop. American Supreme trying to get back to his feet, but Santos is right there, locks him up. Short arm clothesline from the Mexican Monolith. And American Supreme is laid out on the mat and in big trouble. Warlord Santos making his way up to the top turnbuckle. Almost 500 pounds coming down, elbow across the chest of American Supreme. Santos goes for the cover. 1, 2, but no. El Supremo powering out pretty easy. They lock up, kick to the midsection from Clark. Clothesline takes Santos down, quickly back up, shoves down American Supreme with some serious power right there. The Mexican Monolith backs him up, clubbing arm right across the chest of American Supreme, Matt Clark. Clark counters with a right. Santos shoves him down again. The Mexican Monolith swings and misses, shoves down Clark like a third or fourth time. I'm starting to lose count of how many times it's happened. American Supreme, Matt Clark, up over the shoulders of the Monolith, but Santos countered. Clark shoved down yet again. He's going to get tired of that knee to the skull from Santos. Clark counters, gets back up on his feet. Kick to the side of the Mexican Monolith. Clark rounds him up, takes him down, setting him up. Oh man. A little bit of everything on that one. A little surfboard stomp, a little bit of sharpshooter, a little bit, man, baby steps to the, oh, wow. Just a whole lot going on there, Clark. American Supreme rolls him over, goes for the cover. 1, 2. Santos getting the left shoulder up. Santos making his way up to a standing position on the apron, using the ropes to get himself standing again. Clark with a left to the side of the head of Santos. Joins him on the outside on the apron. Lets gravity do the rest of the lip of the apron. Slams down into the back of the Mexican Monolith. American Supreme, bobbing and weaving here, takes down the Mexican Monolith on the outside as the referee starts the count. Santos locks him up, rolls him up back inside. The Mexican Monolith moves in, albeit slowly. Santos avoids the chop block. Matt Clark just a little bit too soon there. Santos has him up, turns him around, slams him face down into the canvas center ring. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. American Supreme powering out of the pin. The World Heavyweight Champion hanging on here. The title on the line for Clark. Santos countered. Inverted DDT from American Supreme. Hard right spins Santos around. Santos goes behind and counters on Clark. Clark counters with an elbow. Moves in, locks up the Mexican Monolith, takes him down. Wow. A lot of back and forth here. American Supreme with the arm breaker on the Mexican Monolith. Crystal Gabor looking on. There's an arm bar. Santos in some pain here. Clark moves in again. Rounds him up. Takes him right back down again. Another wrestling takedown. American Supreme Matt Clark. The champ makes his way to the top turnbuckle. The Mexican Monolith standing to his considerable height. Here comes Clark. A chop across the head of Warlord Santos. American Supreme rounds him up hard right, spins him around. American Supreme goes behind, has him up, slams him down. Sit out powerbomb. Clark going for the cover. 1, 2. Man. Well, Clark had to know this wasn't going to be easy. A stomp to the chest of the Mexican Monolith. Clark misses with the knee. Santos back up on his feet. Clothesline takes down American Supreme. Warlord Santos whips Clark to the ropes. An elbow takes Clark down to the canvas. Sylvia Strong watching her fellow work here. The Mexican Monolith with a chance to become World Heavyweight Championship again. Boom! Elbow across the chest. Here's the cover. 1, 2. Man, shut up. American Supreme Matt Clark not going to make it easy for the Mexican Monolith here. Clothesline takes Clark down. Swing and a miss from Clark. Rebound off the ropes. Back body drop. The Mexican Monolith has him up. Spine buster. Right down. American Supreme Matt Clark taking quite a beating here. Look at this. Whoa! Nice counter from Matt Clark. Slams the Monolith down to the canvas. Clark takes him down. Sets it up again. That little sharpshooter surfboard baby step thing he does. American Supreme. With Santos down on the canvas, he needs to keep him there. Clark up on the middle ropes. He's waiting for Warlord Santos to stand up again. Boom! Into a Luthez press. Hard right hands to the head of the Mexican Monolith. He was not expecting that. Clark quickly going for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Well, now American Supreme retaining the World Heavyweight Championship again. Well, how about this American Supreme? Took him 10 minutes and 56 seconds to do it, but he manages to retain the World Heavyweight Championship over some seriously game competition in the Mexican Monolith. Warlord Santos. Gotta believe Matt Clark is definitely back with a vengeance these days. Wow.
The fans may have doubted American Supreme when he came back in February 2024, but nobody in the locker room did. Everyone knew Matt Clark would make it back to the top of the game here in our WL. And look at him now, well over a year later, back at the top as a dual champion.
And fans, that concludes this evening's RWL Global War Supercard. We hope you've enjoyed it. We thank you as always for being part of it. We advise you to stay tuned, because immediately following will be the May 3rd edition of RWL Snarl. For all of us here, I've been Don Hickson, saying thank you, good night, and we'll see you next time at ringside. Good night, everybody.